Hi, I'm Marty Nemko. Many people are hosting family or friends for the holidays. Well, here are some thoughts on how to make that visit more fabulous than fraught. First, a bit about pragmatics. At this point, it's too late to try to convince unvaccinated guests to get vaccinated, but it is reasonable to ask them to wear a surgical or N95 mask indoors. Without your lecturing them, that might even motivate them to get vaccinated later. In any event, no need to be shy about telling your guests that you're going to be COVID safer. Windows open, and even if it means having to crank up the heat, social distancing, and perhaps requiring N95 or surgical masks indoors, except when eating or drinking. Also, because of COVID, and simply because it's tough to have a few days of 24/7 guests in your home, you may wish to discuss whether they should sleep at your place or at a hotel. That can be couched so as to reduce the potential for offense. For example, if it weren't for damn COVID and its lovely Omicron variant, we'd love to have you stay with us, but we might all feel safer and happier if this time you stayed at a hotel. There are a couple of lovely but not expensive places I could recommend. Whether you or not your guests have already arrived, consider each person's likely feelings about the visit. That can help you decide what to talk about and do. For example, you might ask yourself or even write down each guest's prime motive or motives for visiting: love, obligation, fun, food, specific activities, and deep conversation, whether about family, politics, COVID, whatever. There may be underlying tensions. For example, is there a family wound that's festering quietly or not so quietly? Are there polarized views on politics, money, parenting, even the meaning of life? Those are more likely if multiple generations are visiting. For example, boomers as a group have different values from Gen Z. Do weigh the pros and cons of discussing touchy issues. Sometimes that can be enlightening, even bonding, but in other cases, for example, a long unhealed family wound, the holidays may not be the best time to address them. You don't want their holiday memory or your memory to be a sad one. Fortunately, the holidays provide ample opportunity to talk about other topics. For example, holiday musings, thoughts about how to make 2022 a good year despite COVID, and the activities you'll be doing during their visit. Speaking of activities, of course, not all planned activities need to be psychologically oriented, but a few might, and I'm focusing on those here because the text version of this will be in Psychology Today. Those kind of activities also have the bonus of being doable indoors in case winter weather precludes outdoor activities, and here are 4 examples. Have each person tell their life story. Perhaps even set a timer for 5 or 10 minutes so people can be comfortable knowing how long they have the floor. Ask people for their number one New Year's resolution, or even whether they believe in New Year's resolutions. For example, an argument for making them, even if those resolutions get broken, is that it's important to set goals, and the calendar's turning feels like a good time to do it. An argument against New Year's resolutions is that they're more likely to be broken because they're made because of a calendar date rather than because that's when the person's motivated to keep a resolution. Ask people to say what they're grateful for or thinking about these days or looking forward to. Ask people to give a 5 or 10 minute talk on whatever they care deeply about. My wife and I are hosting our daughter, son-in-law, and their 2 kids. Maybe it's instructive to know what we're going to be doing. They're going to spend the days, in a hotel rather than with us. All are vaccinated, and of course they're going to be visiting much of the time. And we're going to be visiting San Francisco and doing stuff. Anyway, all of them are vaccinated, and the adults are boosted. We're not going to wear a mask indoors, but we will keep the windows open with the heat turned up to compensate. We will ask and remind people to keep at least 3 and even 6 feet apart. My wife and I have discussed which issues are and aren't worth discussing. We've planned activities, the most unusual of which is that I bought 40 plastic butterflies, and we'll have activities such as a scavenger hunt, talent show, and storytelling with butterflies to the winners. At the end of the visit, the person with the most butterflies gets a gift of their choice. It costs up to $100. So, let's say now it's time for them to leave. Well, parting can be such sweet sorrow, as they say. You may maximize the sweetness by, as you say goodbye, revisiting the sweet parts, not necessarily the sorrowful. Hosting family or friends at the holidays does hold the potential for in-the-moment pleasures and fond memories, and I'm hoping that these ideas will help you actualize that potential. In any event, I do thank you for watching. I'm Marty Nemko. I welcome your thumbs up and accept your thumbs down. I always look forward to your comments, and especially like it if you hit the share button below. Share on your social media so that my efforts can have broader impact. and I am flattered if you choose to subscribe to my channel. In any event, I do thank you for watching, and of course I do wish you a restorative or happy, whatever you want, rewarding holiday season. I'm Marty Nemko.